one of the men there who were actually fighting alongside the government forces to see how to actually now liberate Uganda, that was riddled in a number of problems at the time when human life was not dignified at all. Now, Kasirye Ggwanga, when this government came into power, has been one of the people there. Very controversial. He's been an advisor of the president on security issues, security affairs, on Buganda issues, and a number of things. And we'll remember him for all the things that he's done. Apart from being a soldier, and actually he used to refer to himself as a soldier's soldier. That's what he used to call himself. He used to call himself a soldier's soldier. Now remember that Kasirye Ggwanga is one of the very few UPDF officers who have attended the most lucrative military academy in the world. That's the Leavenworth, the Port Leavenworth University in the U.S., or military academy in the U.S. Kasirye Ggwanga is one of those men. When President Museveni actually, one of the reasons why President Museveni also came out to fight the HIV pandemic, or the HIV epidemic, Kasirye Ggwanga is one of the men who actually taken to Cuba during the times of Fidel Castro, and all of them had to go mandatory testing for HIV/AIDS. When most officers of the UPDF at that time refused, not the UPDF but the NRA, most officers of the NRA at the time feared to go through the mandatory HIV tests. Kasirye Ggwanga was one of those who said, "I'll dare you and do the test." Now, Kasirye Ggwanga has been a man of his own stature. We'll not have another Kasirye Ggwanga. He's the only Kasirye Ggwanga that we've had. We'll remember him for the service rendered to this country of Uganda, especially from 1972, when he decided to put on the uniform and to liberate, to serve this country, Uganda, patriotically, as he's done. Now, he covers part and much of today, but we also need to remember that on this day, we also remember Kano Ibrahim Abiriga, the member of parliament from Rua municipality, was also gunned down just yesterday. Now, this period reminds us a number of things. We remember that in 1998, yesterday, 8th of June, is when the ADF rebels torched the students in Ggwanga Technical Institute. That was yesterday in 1998. Now, yesterday in 2018, Ibrahim Abiriga was also gunned down. And we remember now that on this day today, we also now lose General Kasirye Ggwanga. Now, that is for this particular period. And we also remember that we started celebrating this day, Heroes Day, in 1990. And now, when we talk about 1998, when we had that Ggwanga Inferno, the Ggwanga massacre, which was also very deplorable, and we remember it in our history, the masterminds of that particular massacre there is now the man Jamil Mukuru, who is actually in prisons. And in Rwanda just a couple of hours ago, in prisons where he was also asking for bail. And because it's rule of law, we also wait to see and to hear what that happens thereafter. You also remember that the late Dr. Apollo Milton Obote, a former Prime Minister and also former President of Uganda, died on the 10th of October in 2005. Now, so many people had actually wished that Dr. Apollo Milton Obote would have died on the 9th of October, but of course, because none of us has right over life, we couldn't choose that Dr. Apollo Milton Obote dies on the same day. But of course, the talk there was the man who delivered Uganda to independence in 1962 on the 9th of October, actually died on the 10th of October 2005. But of course, he was not in Uganda at the time, and wherever he died from, in South Africa. Now, that's part of what continues to happen. And like I said, God's ways are not our ways. Now, that's about Kasirye Ggwanga. Michael Jordan Lukomwa in Nakasero Hospital, where they are, they will get the details, give us and feed us with the information, and let us know how this is going to be done. Remember, the celebration is going to be done scientifically. How it will be done is another thing now that we leave to the organizers. Now, that is at the discretion of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. The forces there will let us know, will teach us, and of course will enable us to understand how it's going to be done or celebrated. Now, burial arrangements and when he'll be buried is something that we cannot delve into right now, except to now just bereave together with the family, to allow them accept our condolences, to pray with them, and to put and to usher them into the hands of God, to console them and to be with them. As we can only say, for Kasirye Ggwanga, may his soul rest in eternal peace. May he go and rest peacefully with his ancestors until when we all meet in eternity. Just like the prophet of old David said, my son has gone to be with the Lord. I cannot return. He cannot return to me. It's me who shall go to him. Now the same way, Kasirye Ggwanga cannot return to Uganda or to Ugandans. It's we now who shall go to where he's actually gone. Now back to Heroes Day today. Heroes Day is the day that we're celebrating, going to be very scientific. And amazingly, the day had not been chosen for where the celebrations would be. Now, this day's celebrations, because they are scientific, we're going to see another event, just like we saw at the event that happened on the 1st of May, Labor Day celebrations that were held in State House. This year's only public event or national public holiday that we've managed to host as a country is the public holiday that we had in Mbale, and that was the International Women's Celebrations. It was only that. Now, on the 8th of March and on the 18th, 10 days later, we now realize that yes, a coronavirus was actually real, and it was coming towards us, storming towards us, even when we had no case at the time. But we noticed, yes, it was a pandemic that was spreading globally and everywhere, and we knew that by whichever means it would still get Uganda, and still it crept into Uganda from the Middle East, to be specific, in UAE. That's where it came from, spread all over, and of course from all the other sources, and we are with it today. As we speak, 646 cases confirmed with 102 recoveries, which is also another thing that we need to appreciate and thank God for. Now, when we talk and remember our heroes on this day, we also need now to recognize our health workers who have been at the forefront there to see and to safeguard us, to do whatever they've done to enable us and to make sure that Ugandans live, Ugandans survive, Ugandans do not die of this thing, which has actually killed scores of people across the globe. So many people have died in the US, in Europe, in Asia, South America, and everywhere. We thank God, and we are still very thankful to the Almighty God that even with 600 cases, with 102 recoveries, we've not had any death yet in Uganda. We pray against any death. We do not wish for any death, and we pray that we will not accept or allow any death, not because of our powers, not because of our might, but because of the God that we trust in, the God that we pray, the God that we submit this country to, and the God for whom we live the affairs of this country. For scriptures are very clear. They say that blessed is the nation whose Lord is God. And because Uganda is for God and my country, we know that this country is God's country, and this country will continue to be protected by that same God who keeps us, who guides us, who guards against us, who protects us, and who does all things for us. Now, as you can see, just right there, the band just ready to receive the president, who, when he steps over and comes on, I am just also very sure that the president has received the bad news of one of his own men, General Kasirye Ggwanga, and I can just imagine that his mood could have changed from what it was before the news of Kasirye Ggwanga to now when the news has been broken to him that his general, Kasirye Ggwanga, is no more. He's gone to be with the Lord. Remember that the fortunate bit about the death of Kasirye Ggwanga is he's not died of an accident, he's not died of recklessness, he's not died of, he's not been assassinated, he's not been shot dead, he's not died in a domestic brawl, he's not died in a bar fighting or doing all the things. He's died of natural causes, and so that's one thing that I am very sure that the family must have felt the contentment of having an opportunity to treat their own relative, to maybe even be with him at that last moment, to say bye to them and to hear those last words or the last confessions that he possibly, if he had an opportunity to speak out or to say anything for the family. It's not the same as just being told that your family member, your colleague has actually died, like we saw Abiriga being shot dead when he was going for his Tarawih prayers during that holy month of Ramadan. Many, of course, and much more of what is happening there. Now, this particular day, like I said, has its history from a man called Edidian Muchibi Rutamaguzi and 9 others who sacrificed when they were arrested by the UNLA forces, asked to reveal the whereabouts of Yoweri Museveni and his NRA fighting men. Had they succumbed to the pressures of the UNLA and revealed the whereabouts of Yoweri Museveni and his men, then that would actually have been the end of Museveni and his struggleists, and maybe this day wouldn't be here. Or it would be here, of course, definitely, but in a different shape, with different players, different characters. And that's why we need to remember them. I just do not know what runs in the head of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the president of Uganda. Today, when he remembers his friend Edidian Muchibi Rutamaguzi, I do not know what runs in the heads of these fighting forces or these fighting men who actually knew that their lives were hanging by the thread at just the confession or the refusal to confess by Muchibi Rutamaguzi. What about if Muchibi Rutamaguzi had actually confessed that this is where the men were? What would have been that? So this is the day that we're celebrating today. Now, this day was first celebrated in 1990, and this, to be precise, is 30 years ago when we started celebrating this day. It was gazetted and, of course, by an act of parliament, made an official public national holiday in the 2001 Act. When Parliament passed an act in 2001 that this day will be National Heroes Day. That we celebrate today. Now, National Heroes Day, remembering all the people, it was broadened to move from only the fighters in the Luwero Bush War, but all the other Ugandans who have also contributed. We have heroes and heroines whose contributions has been above self, and they focused to the nation and done a number of things that we need to recognize and remember them for. Now, one thing that we remember about such days is the glamour that comes with it, the tradition and the organization that comes with it, is that this day, to be specific, is normally celebrated or organized in places where the fighting was, because that's why it makes much more meaning. This day is celebrated in areas who have a historical contribution to the 1981-86 Bush War, as we remember, because in many of the places where this particular day is actually celebrated, there are several mass graves. There are mass graves where civilians who participated in the war were killed and buried, and to remember them, the monuments that have been built in those particular areas. In 2018, you remember when you went to Birembo, and the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, visited, and that was one of his maiden state visits as Prime Minister of Ethiopia. He came to Uganda, and of course he was in Ibirembo, where that the wreath was laid to the mass grave in Ibirembo for the fighters who were there. And to be specific, at that particular place in Ibirembo, where there is that particular mass grave, we also told the history of that place, that President Museveni was actually around that same place. I think preparing lunch, or and we told the meal that day was, I think, cassava, and the shooters from the hills of if you've been to Virembo to Kasambia, I think it's called Kasambia, Virembo in Bukomero, not Bukomero, Virembo it's actually Virembo in that particular part of Uganda, in Kakumiro. In Kakumiro, they say they were actually shelled, and they only survived by whiskers not to die on that particular day. So there are lots of memories on this particular day. Now, just recently, last year we saw this day was celebrated in Kasirye, where they saw another mass grave. Now, Kasirye, being that cradle or that peninsula that connects Wakiso, Entebbe to Mpiji and a number of places, its history is also another very good history. That many of the fighting forces at that time, the UFM, FEDEMU, and other fighting forces, I think even the NRA, also many of them actually camped in those particular areas to see, because it was actually easier for that particular area to cross to the Lake Victoria and possibly cross. And we actually know that it was at that particular place there where President Museveni actually crossed crossed by water to go to Nairobi, and I think eventually to Tanzania. Then he found his way of how to escape and run away from the forces that were looking for him. So Heroes Day is celebrated in many of the places where some of those historical sites are, where it's got that history to the contribution of the Liberation War. Now, the other thing that we also experience on this day is the medals that are normally awarded to the different individuals whose contribution is eminent to liberating Uganda. Now, this is what we'll continue to miss out during these scientific celebrations that we mark. For example, this year's 2020 Heroes Day celebrations. One of the things that, of course, we'll miss out on is the scientific, I beg your pardon, the scientific, but the word of medals that would see the different speeches, of course, from the different players, and the memories that people have about these particular days or these particular events. And so that's what we celebrate on this particular day when we talk about Heroes Day. Celebrating men and women, the heroes and heroines, whose selfless contribution at the national level that supersedes, goes above self, is what we are experiencing. And of course, when you look at that, there is everybody seems to be set, waiting for the president of Uganda to also now come and speak to the nation. It's going to be celebrated scientifically, and while the president is going to be there, or if rather means is you have nothing to worry about. Our responsibility, our national mandate, our duty is actually to deliver the president to you from wherever he will be, for you to be part of our Heroes Day today. But like we said, Heroes Day today is also now, we will celebrate it as we remember General Kasirye Ggwanga, who has also just died today on Heroes Day. It will be very easy for everybody and many of us to remember General Kasirye Ggwanga's day of death, because it has happened on a day that we celebrate heroes. And to many people, they thought this was a hoax when the news started flying by and around on social media platforms saying that General Kasirye Ggwanga has died and gone to be with the Lord. Many people thought maybe it is just a hoax of the day. But our teams, of course, they are in hospital. Jordan Lokomwa and the others have confirmed to us. And, of course, now following through with what is happening, Newsroom is preparing. And will get us they will get us the details of this day. And, of course, what happens thereafter for General Kasirye Ggwanga. We'll take a break. And as we also, again, prepare to bring you the president of Uganda, who we guess is about to speak to the nation today on this Heroes Day. Now remember that the celebrations are going to be done like that. There will be speeches, of course, from the different stakeholders, as is normally the norm and as is the custom of celebrating this particular day. My name is Ggwanga and Semakola. We'll take a break as we still prepare for the president still to come through to us here on UBC TV. Just stay tuned and do not go away as we wait for the president to speak to us.
Take your seats, please. Once again, you are most welcome, Your Excellency the President. May I now take this opportunity to invite His Grace Dr. Superior Ggwanga, Archbishop Kampala Archdiocese, step forward and pray for us, together with His Eminent Sheikh Ramadan Mubaji, Mufti of Uganda, representing the Islamic faith. We may also use this opportunity to pray for retired Major General Kasirye Ggwanga to continue resting in eternal peace. As I had already informed you, he passed on this morning at Nakasero Hospital. Thank you very much. You are most welcome, Your Grace.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and all of you, the invited guests. First of all, allow me to greet His Excellency and also to thank him for inviting us, and above all, to start this function with a prayer. Some people at times wonder why we start with the prayers, but the origin comes from there. It's what is written below our national emblem: for God and our country. And our Bible, those who use the Bible, is full of God's presence and assistance. I like to quote only two. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, the whole of the first chapter talks about how God created the world. And when He created you and me as human beings, He created us in His image. And then He asked us to be fruitful. So we are here to give thanks to God for the good things that have been given to us. Then the book of Psalms, Psalm number 127 says the following: unless the Lord builds the house, its builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen stand guard in vain. So whatever we do and say is to be for God and our country. I stand here on behalf of all the Christian churches. We have what we call the Uganda Youth Christian Council, and its current chairman, and the co-chairman is here also, Archbishop Kazimba. Now I invite you to stand up to pray together, okay? O God, our loving Father, we know that your love is infinite and that you care about all areas of our life, despite the many challenges we face. Help us to always be conscious of our national motto, for God and our country, so that whatever we do or say is indeed for God and our country. Gracious God, in this time of global pandemic of COVID-19, which has brought about many challenges, keep us mindful that you always have and always will provide for our needs. Apart from you, we can do nothing. Merciful God, we ask that you give our leaders at all levels the wisdom they need to guide our nation out of the current pandemic, COVID-19 crisis, and the many other challenges we face today as a result of this pandemic. We have challenges in the family, we have challenges in society, we have challenges in the world, we have challenges everywhere. Help us to protect the poor and all those who are struggling during this difficult time. Provide for us all our needs and give us hope. Open new opportunities for us all and furnish the resources we need to live with dignity. Encourage those who have enough to share essential resources with those who lack the necessities of life, and to do so with humble, grateful, and loving hearts. We continue to asking for your protection against this virus. Help our scientists to find a cure to this disease. Help our national leaders to find solutions for the challenges brought about by this pandemic. Heavenly Father, today We remember and pay tribute to the men and women who laid down their lives during the guerrilla war, and the other heroes, those who gave up all they had for the freedom of the entire nation. They paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms of which we hold so dear. We seek you, O Lord, to receive these servants of peace into your loving embrace and grant them the eternal peace that surpasses all understanding. And since you are the greatest hero and source of all heroes, we ask all this through your Son, Jesus Christ. Now for us Christians, who know very well the prayer that our Lord Jesus Christ taught us, he gave me to recite, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of the Almighty God, most gracious, most merciful. Almighty God, you said in your holy words, ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لفسدت الأرض ولكن الله ذو فضل على الناس. And were it not that Allah repelled some set of people with another, the earth would surely be overlaid with mischief. But Allah is bounteous to the people of the world. The Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 251. O Lord, we thank you for the gift of life and for your continued grace and guidance to our country, Uganda. O Allah, we believe you have all the powers to defend us, all wisdom to direct us, all mercy to pardon us, all grace to enrich us, all righteousness to clothe us, all goodness to supply us, and all happiness to crown us. Lord, you are our guardian who leads us and who desires that we follow the path that leads us to joy and contentment. As we celebrate the Heroes' Day here today, we pray, Almighty God, for those who shed their blood and sacrificed their lives for the peace and the stability of our country. Heroes are not cowards, and the cowards will never be heroes. They are indeed people who understood the degree of their responsibility for their country as well as the price for freedom. May the souls of those who perished rest in peace, and for those who are still alive, including their leader before us, His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, may Allah continue to bless them. O Allah, Lord of the universe, we thank you for your continued guidance and protection. As we face tough times of COVID-19, we thank you for restoring the health of the Ugandans who unfortunately fell victims of COVID-19. And we have not registered any loss of lives, as we pray for the quick recovery for the affected ones. And thank you, and that you bring an end to this pandemic, because it is you only that can silence this horrible disease once and for all. We believe you have a purpose for our pain, a reason for our struggle, and a reward for our faithfulness. We trust you and will not give up praying. Besides COVID-19, we also pray for relief of other disasters like floods, locusts that attack and trouble our people. The devil has planted the weed of corruption in our country. We pray that you bless our leaders with the ability to uproot this weed completely. Lord, you have an everlasting solution to these problems. Anything under your control is never out of control. I pray that you continue to help our country and our government to live a happy and a prosperous future. We pray for our leaders to work together as a team, especially the government organs, the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. Teamwork has the ability to work together towards a common vision. The ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. Our Lord bless our leader, the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, with your wisdom, and may you keep him firm and bless him with a sound mind and a good health, so that he can fulfill his and our dream of leading this country to the land of prosperity. We pray this in your sovereign name. Amen.
Let's take our seats. We thank our religious leaders for leading us in those prayers. I now invite Haj Idrissa Sedunga, the National Chairman of the Royal Triangle War Veterans Association, to step forward and deliver his speech.
Sebo ekitiibwa Pulezidenti, simbeera nge ya bulijjo okuba nti ngenda okukwasomera ku nsomero ekiwandiiko, naye ekitangaala kino layiti ebadde temalulwa amaaso. Nja kusaba mutabani wange ono bwe tutambula akisome, naye ng'ebirimu birowoozo byange so si byabalala.
Webale nnyo ssebo. Owekitiibwa omukulembeze w'eggwanga General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, owekitiibwa omumyuka w'omukulembeze w'eggwanga, owekitiibwa omukubiriza w'olukiiko lw'eggwanga, owekitiibwa Ssaabalamuzi wa Uganda, abamyuka ba Katikkiro abali wano, owekitiibwa omumyuka wa ssentebe wa NRM, abakulembeze b'eddiini abali wano, Secretary General wa NRM, baminisita ne bammemba ba Parliament abali wano olwaleero, abakulembeze abali wano mwenna mu biti byammwe, ba historicals ne ba veterans mwenna abatulaba eyo n'abatuwuliriza ku radio, bassebo ne bannyabo. Eno speech ya National Chairman w'abaazirwanako. Nsooka okwebaza Allah olw'omukisa guno gutuweereddwa. Ffe baani abalimi b'essemuto okubeera abamu ku batono abayitiddwa ku mukolo guno gw'ebyafaayo. Ssebo tukwebaza olw'okutuwa omukisa ogwo. Mu linnya ly'abaazirwanako mbakuliisa mwenna abali wano okutuuka ku lunaku luno olw'abazira olw'omulundi ogwa 31. Bannayuganda bannange mwenna abatulaba n'abatuwulira ku mikutu gya leediyo ne televisioni, tebadde enkola ya bulijjo okujaguza olunaku luno olw'abazira mu ngeri eno, naye ssebo tukwebaza gwe ne kabinenti olw'okukkiriza olunaku luno okulujaguliza mu bufunda. Obufunda bwe buti kikira okwosa, kuba tubadde tumanyidde okujaguza olunaku luno ng'abantu bajaguza bakuba enduulu, tusanyuka, tusula mu kasiki ffe ng'abalwanyi, naye olwaleero ebyo byonna tebibaddeewo olw'okwewala obulwadde buno ssenyiga omukambwe. Owekitiibwa bwe wali oggalawo nga tulwanyisa ssenyiga omukambwe, wakozesa ekigambo kyaffe eky'omu lutalo kye bagamba nyamanzeeni, musirike tuwulire omulabe gy'ava. N'olwekyo nze ne baveterani b'enkulembera tubadde tukyali mu kusirika nga tetunaba kutegeera omulabe COVID-19 gy'ava ne bwe tuyinza okumulwanyisa. N'olwekyo ebigambo tulina bitono, tujja kwogera bitono olwayo, temuli bya bufuzi. owekitiibwa nga tetulinagenda mu birala tutuusa okusaasira kwaffe eri ggwe His Excellency n'abalwanyi bannaffe bonna ekyokufiirwako mulwanyi munnaffe General Kasirye Ggwanga kitalo nnyo kitalo ddala Mukama amusaasire ebyamusobako. Owekitiibwa nga tumaze ebyo twagala okugumya bannayuganda nti ng'okyakulembera Uganda n'amagezi g'abasayansi abasawo n'emmoto yaffe ku lwa Katonda n'ensi yaffe tujja kuwangula coronavirus kubanga talina magulu ffe tumutambuza. N'olwekyo bwe tulinakwata ebiragiro by'abasawo nga twewala okutambuza corona tuyinza okumukendeeza mu Uganda. Mukama waffe twagala okujjukiza abantu ebyafaayo biddiringana. Owekitiibwa twagala okujjukiza bannayuganda nti nga NRM tennaba kuggula lutalo ku ndwadde 6 zinnamutta twalinanga endwadde ng'olukusense naye ng'engeri yokka ey'okulujjanjaba wano ewaffe mu Central mu Buganda wano nga tuluyita mannya ga lusuuta nga omutaka, omulangira, omukulu n'ebirala nga bwe lukwata omwana awaka teri kulya nnyama nga semaka n'omukyala baawula ekitanda si kulwa nga banyiiza olukusense ne lutta omwana waabwe. Naye ssebo ebyo byaggwaawo ne sayansi bwe twagemesa abaana era tumanyi nti na bino ebitugaana okwekwata mu ngalo kubanga twakajjira wano teri yakutte munne mu ngalo ng'ate bwe buwangwa bwa Afirika bw'otokwata munno mu ngalo tomanya nti omubuuzizza. Mukama wange ku nkomero y'omwaka oguwedde ne mu ntandikwa y'omwaka ogwa 2020 twalambula baveterani mu districts z'omu Western Uganda ne mu Central mu Buganda wano nga tulambula abalwanyi naye twasangayo ebizibu bino wammanga. Bitono nnyo bye twakwata ng'abalwanyi ebintu 3 ebirala minisita twatambula ne minisita wa Luwero twayanga jebbi kugamba. Ekisooka abalwanyi bakomplayininga oba wakasiimo naye oluba wakasiimo ne bagula ente obubbi bw'ente bususse ate nga bo bagamba nti edda baayinanga engeri gye baakolanga ku babbi nga tebamutwala ku poliisi n'akomawo n'alya mmere naye omulembe gwe waleeta ogw'amateeka tegubaganya kukola nga bwe bandyagadde ne bakomekereza onadda ku y'omulala. Ekyo mujja kisalira amagezi. Ekiddako eddagala lye batunda terikyattankwa kati batabulamu ddagala lya nnyaanya ery'ebirime ate nga batya nti yinza okubaleetera ate obuzibu obulala n'olwekyo nakyo kibatawaanya. Abalimi babaguza eddagala nga lya bicupuli ate ne litta ebirime oba ne libikaza. Tusaba gwe kikwatako asitukiremu ku lw'ebyo kubanga mu kifo ky'okukola enkulaakulana tukola mbandama oba kudda mabega. Mukama wange ffe ng'abalwanyi tulina ebirala era ebitutawaanya nga okugobaganyizibwa mu bibanja, amalwaliro oba abasawo baffe abatafaako, abasawo baffe abamu, amalwaliro oba abasawo baffe abamu abatafaayo ku mirimu gyabwe, abalala bamukwata mmundu, abamu abasiiwuusa empisa ennaku zino abaleka ebibagwanira okukola ne bakola ebitabagwanira kukola. Naye ssebo tumanyi nti wooli kubanga gwe wabatuteerawo n'okumanya nti omusirikale tatta muntu tubitegedde ku mulembe guno ojja bba tukolerako anti ekyuma kitya muweesi atakiweesa takisobola. Guno mulanga eri abalwanyi n'abatulaba nti coronavirus waali eratta okusinziira ku bye tulaba, naye ne bw'oba tolaba bayibuli egamba nti alina omukisa oyo akkiriza nga talabye. Mbasaba okutwala enkola ya tonsemberera, tokwata mu ngalo, munaabe mu ngalo, temwekwata mu maaso, mu nnyindo ne mu kamwa, okwambala obukookolo nga bwe tulina kati anti lubaala embeera oba Katonda mbeera. Bannaddiini bayinza okutunyiigiraawo Katonda mbeera nga n'embiro kwotadde. Owekitiibwa maliriza nga tukwebaza olw'okuwabula eggwanga mu kulwanyisa coronavirus. Weebale kuwabula ggwanga mu biseera ebizibu nga tulwanyisa coronavirus, enzige, ebisamba, kuliva Nile n'amataba agali mu Western Uganda n'ettaka eribumbulukuka mu East. Weebale nnyo, weebalire ddala okubeerawo ng'otuwa amagezi n'obutatya. Twebaza abaana baffe abasawo. Ssebo w'ekitiibwa ekigambo kino abaana baffe bwe twali mu nsiko ebyakolebwanga bwe baakolanga ebirungi abo be tuyita abaana baffe. Abaana baffe abasawo mwebale kulwana, abalala nga tutidde. Muli bazira nnyo 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 nnyo, kubanga omuzira y'oyo eyeewaayo okulwana wadde ng'atidde. Ffe twali tutidde, abaana ne beewaayo ne balumba coronavirus. Era twebaza olw'okuba nti tetunnafiisa muntu yenna. Mukama Katonda yeebale. Twebaza UPDF, police, prisons, ebitongole ebyo biyeewo omubiri ku lwaffe. Enjogera eno okuyiwawo omubiri byewaddeyo nnyo ku lw'Abannayuganda. Byewaayo omuntu, ennaku ezo twabadde tulaba nga bakwata omuntu alwadde korona ebugerere yeekwese mu siiringi, tasobola kuvaayo, bulwadde bumuluma, naye balina kuyita poliisi era okulaba ng'emugjayo oba magye. Bassebo mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Nsembyayo ab'amawulire, we tuli we tutali mwe mubeerawo. Mwebale kubanga amagezi tuba tugamalidde mu coronavirus, ate ab'amawulire ne batugamba nti ate obutabanguko mu maka bufuuse kizibu n'ebirala. Mukama wange, n'ebigambo ebyo tukwebaza olw'okutuwa omukisa guno, era ne tukwebaza olw'okusigala nga weekuumye ng'oli mulamu ku lwa Uganda. E Buganda wano Abaganda balina olugero olugamba nti omutabaazi ateekengera awangula olutabaalo lumu. Bw'oba ogamba nti gwe teweegendereza, olutabaalo wangula lumu. N'olwekyo tukwebaza olw'okwekuuma ng'oli mulamu, ne tusigala nga tujja wano kuba kugwe kwe tunywerera. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Haji Idrisa Sseddunga, National Chairman w'abaazirwanako. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
Webale nnyo Muzeeyi Sseddunga olw'ebigambo ebyo bulungi. May I now invite Honorable Sozi Garabuzi, the Minister of State for the World Triangle, to deliver his speech.
So, Owekitiibwa President, I'm going to read this simple speech, interpreted speech of Haji Idrisa Sseddunga. Simple is a 2-3 page speech. Yes, sir. It says, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the very important leaders of Uganda present here, protocol observed, the historicals and veterans of Uganda, ladies and gentlemen, we are greatly honored to be among the chosen few who are invited to participate in this scientific celebration. Fellow Ugandans, those who are listening and watching us on TVs and radio stations, it is not our tradition to celebrate this National Day scientifically. Among the few, we have been celebrating it among crowds and mass gathering, but this is where Corona has pushed us. We thank Your Excellency, sir, with your cabinet, for accepting this day to be celebrated scientifically. It's better than no commemoration at all. Your Excellency, sir, when you declared a lockdown, you used our bush time word of Nyamanzeni, a Swahili word for keeping quiet, in order to detect where the enemy is coming from. For us veterans, we have been undercover, waiting to know how COVID-19 infects and how we can fight it. Therefore, our message is short and limited on COVID-19, no politics.
I again take this opportunity to assure Ugandans that as long as you are in charge of this country, with the advice from the scientists and doctors, with our national motto for God and our country, we shall overcome coronavirus. The good thing, it doesn't work. It's we who are helping it spread by not adhering to medical advice. Your Excellency, sir, allow me to remind Ugandans that before NRM declared a mass vaccination against the 6 killer disease, we had diseases like measles. The only medicine we had locally here in the central for measles was worshipping it, giving it prominent names of praise like Prince, Boss, etc. And if a child contracts it in a home, the family stops eating meat and any good meals. The husband and the wife stop sharing a bed. Those were done in order not to annoy measles and kill their loved child. It all ended with scientists when we started to immunize our children. Even coronavirus will go the same way in days to come. Your Excellency, sir, by the end of last year and early this year, we visited veterans in the districts of Western and Central Uganda, but they all had these problems in common. The safety of domestic animals, cows. They spray chemicals which doesn't kill ticks. They end up mixing it with agrochemicals which may be a problem in the future. Farmers buy counterfeit drugs which end up destroying their farm crops. The concerned ministry or department should take note of that. As veterans, we have some other issues which we can't go without mentioning, like the rampant evictions of Ggwanga holders, some health workers who neglect their responsibility and people end up losing their lives. Some armed personnel who are misusing the guns instead of protecting Ugandans, they turn the gun against them. Your Excellency, sir, we have trust in you that we will bring them to order because you are the one who trained them. Your Excellency, not to be murderers, you trained them to be soldiers, but they turned the gun against Ugandans at times. Your Excellency, sir, allow me to add my voice to yours and that of the Minister of Health, to veterans and all Ugandans that COVID-19 is a real killer disease. The only way to avoid it is by tonsembera or stay a distance, wash your hands regularly, don't shake hands, don't touch your eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. Wear a mask to avoid coronavirus and the end enjoy the peace and the economic success which is prevailing in Uganda. We conclude by thanking Your Excellency Your Excellency for guiding our country during the testing time of natural calamity like coronavirus, the locusts in northern Uganda, the floating sand on River Nile, and the landslide and floods in western Uganda. We thank our doctors for their concerted effort in fighting corona pandemic. You are real heroes and heroines, because the hero is the person who decides to fight on even if he's afraid. We thank the UPDF, Uganda Police Forces, the Uganda prisons for their patriotism. You have really sacrificed for our country. Asante sana. Last but not least, we thank the print and the media houses for keeping us informed. Where we can't go, they are always there to tell us what is happening and what happened. Your Excellency, sir, with those few words, we are wishing you a happy and a good celebrations. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Haji Idrissa said. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, the President, Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, Your Lordship, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Vice Chairman of NRM, Alhaji Musa Ggwanga, the Prime Minister and the deputies, Secretary General, ministers, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, religious leaders, guests, heroes and war veterans, fellow countrymen. Your Excellency, I usually give my speeches both in Luganda and English, but allow me and permit me to deliver this one in English because of the content. It is a privilege to stand here today to celebrate the extraordinary heroism of many Ugandans who strive to make Uganda a better place. People who have sacrificed and paid the utmost price in defense of our nation for us to enjoy the liberties we have today. Your Excellency, we are celebrating this day under very unusual circumstances given the current pandemic of COVID-19. Allow me to use this opportunity to not only celebrate the heroes who fought, but also those still fighting in different capacities, most especially you, our President, for your steadfast leadership, wise counsel, and fatherly touch to allay and ease the fears among many Ugandans about the horrors of the pandemic. You have been at the forefront. Your frequent briefs to the country council on staying safe and healthy have given us a sense of security and confidence that this war on COVID-19 will be won, just like many others have been under your command. You are much appreciated, sir. I also take this opportunity to thank the foot soldiers, our health workers, scientists, researchers, the security forces, the media which has kept the public sensitized, and all people in all walks of life. The people of Uganda have actually been very heroic in this. You can give directives to people, and if they don't heed to them, then you are fighting or you're climbing an uphill. Today's theme is celebrating a memorable day as we reflect on the selflessness of the heroes, heroines who put nation above else. This tasks us to embody the ideals and values of our heroes, to serve selflessly in building our country economically, culturally, politically, and all other spheres of life. Your Excellency and all listening, Uganda has one of the youngest populations in the world, and it is safe to say that some of our youth may not be aware that the people we are celebrating today had a daunting task of dismantling a system premised on injustice and oppression. However, Your Excellency, you've been proactive and pragmatic in reminding and educating these Bazukuru on the struggles of the past in this country and the cost of freedom. The latest efforts was during the trek that started in Garamba, Wakiso, and ended in Birembo in Chibali. During this 195-kilometer trek, a lot was shared, and the Bazukuru were lucky to get first-hand account of our nation's journey to freedom. Your Excellency, the testimonies of both the civilian and the combatants, freedom fighters, was a very humbling experience. To some of us, it almost sounded like a film, a movie. But it had evidence on it, and we were very humbled. Your decision to take the youth to the trek through which you emphasized the importance of strategic planning, focusing, perseverance, and discipline illustrated your belief in continuity of the NRM ideology that is premised on the 4 pillars that you constantly remind us. That of democracy, patriotism, Pan-Africanism, and socio-economic transformation. It was also at this trek, Your Excellency, that many of the young people, including me, got a humbling lesson on the importance of physical fitness. Your Excellency, you left many of us out of breath. If I remember very well, when we were climbing both the hills of Butorogo and Ggwanga, I was with my colleague, Honorable Minister Ruth Nankabirwa, and we always thought, because we were moving ahead, we always thought we had to look back to see where you were. But little did we know, you were catching up with us very, very quickly. And when we reached the bottom of the hill, you sat as if you had just taken a small walk. Sir, that is a sign of focus and discipline. And that is something we are learning from you. I bring to you, Your Excellency, the requests of the youth who are looking forward to another trek to cover other regions in the East. As we all are aware, the East was the beginning of the struggles with FRONASA. And we also ask that you consider the establishment of historic sites and museums as knowledge banks to cover this part of our history. It is important that we preserve this part of our history for posterity, so that the current and future generations have a basis to shape their narrative about our country. You know, Excellency, so many times on Sundays as a Christian, I go to church and I know much about the Jews and their journey and history, because it is well documented in the Old Testament. The Western cultures today, the Western countries today, through their domination of media and cinema, which has influenced many cultures around the world, has had a very big bearing on our youth today. However, the international media that we are talking about and the cinema has always depicted Africa as a dark continent. But with us preserving our culture and heritage, the journey and triumphs, we shall be in position to tell our own story to the world. A story of triumph despite the myriad of challenges. I thank the NRA Archives team headed by Alice Kaboyo, who put up this program, and for their role in preserving the history of the liberation struggle. And Your Excellency, there is a lot being done in that regard, and we shall beg for your indulgence so that whenever we come to you, you give us, because you're a moving, living encyclopedia of these struggles. We should use you as an example and as the dictionary of all this. Your Excellency, with your continued support through the Office of the Prime Minister, I'm happy to report that some of the people we are celebrating today, the civilian veterans, have continued to receive their benefits under the Kasimo. In addition to their associations, the civilian veterans have been engaging in different businesses and income-generating projects to enhance their incomes. I'll give you the brief of it in a report that I'll probably give to the PPS. But in short, we have paid off gratuity. This financial year, we have paid off gratuity to 6,969 civilian veterans, bringing a cumulative number paid to about 73,419 out of the 80,000 estimated. Through affirmative action programs in the Office of the Prime Minister, our efforts have been deliberate and focused on achieving the objective of enhancing household incomes in communities within the Luwero Triangle. This is well embedded in our manifesto, and this is something that you have kept on persisting and insisting on. Over 600 groups have been supported to establish income-generating projects, and these include small-scale businesses for women, youth and vulnerable groups, and value-addition enterprises, among others. We are yet to align all this with the National Development Plan 3, as it should be. And in addition, the Office of the Prime Minister is currently channeling support to communities at parish level. As you remember very well, in the Chobe conference, the SEC conference in Chobe, you gave us guidance to put all interventions at the parish and create a parish model. Your Excellency, we thank you for this support, through which government is investing in its people and their potential to do something for themselves, in addition to protecting them from the effects of market failures caused by unforeseeable circumstances. I cannot reiterate your call for following the real economy versus the vulnerable economy. Since the start of the financial year 2018-2019 to date, so many associations and so much money within the Luweero Triangle has been dispersed. But we plan to increase the area of coverage since as soon as we secure more and adequate funding. Ladies and gentlemen, in this coming financial year, we plan to do the same. But Your Excellency, we continue to face some challenges as a ministry. I will not talk about them in my speech, but I've prepared something for you, a brief, and we await your guidance. We also took a tour of all the districts in Luweero Triangle and visited a number of veterans, civilian veterans, together with, of course, led by their chair, Haji Sedunga, as he has said. And I think some of the challenges have been, they have told us some of the challenges. I may not have to go through them again. So, ladies and gentlemen, our heroes have collectively provided an example of what it means to be patriotic. So let us be worthy successors through hard work, innovation, discipline, and social responsibility. Your Excellency, I will not go any further than that, because I know most of the message you have about this particular day lies with you. So I thank you, and thank you, Your Excellency, for celebrating this day with us. And I wish every Ugandan a safe and healthy life, and may God bless Uganda, our nation, and everyone in it, for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. May I now invite the Honorable Minister for the Presidency to take over and deliver her remarks, then invite His Excellency the President to address the nation. Welcome, Honorable Minister.
Your Excellency, Presidents of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, His Lordship, the Deputy Chief Justice, the First Vice Chairperson of the National Resistance Movement, the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Second Deputy Prime Minister, the Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament present, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, religious leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to another new normal where Uganda is celebrating the 31st Heroes Day anniversary in what His Excellency termed as scientific under the theme, Celebrating a Memorable Day, as we reflect on the selflessness of the heroes and heroines who put the nation above all else. I want to thank His Excellency the President for graciously accepting to host these celebrations here at the State House in Entebbe. I also take the honor to thank His Excellency for the systematic and calculated management of COVID-19 pandemic. Your Excellency, before I continue further, we have amongst us here the VIPs, and other important people. And I take the honor to introduce to you the VIPs, and other important people for your recognition. Your Excellency, we have His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Edward Ggwanga II. We have the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Itwala Kadaga. We have His Lordship, the Deputy Chief Justice, Alphonse Winyidolo. We have the First National Vice Chairperson of the NRM Party, Alhaj Moses Ggwanga. We have the First Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, General Moses Ali. We have the Second Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, Alhaj Kirunda Kividinda. We have the Secretary General of the NRM Party, the Right Honorable Kasirye Lumumba. We have the Honorable Ministers present, and amongst others, we have Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, the Government Chief Whip. I think she has stepped out a little. We have Honorable Sam Kutesa, the Minister for Foreign Affairs. We have General Eli Tumwine, the Minister for Security. We have Honorable Sozi Galabuzi, the Minister of State for World Affairs. We have Honorable Kasirye Atwoshi, the Minister of State in the Vice President's office. Your Excellency, we have the Honorable Members of Parliament present, and we have Honorable Kakoza James, Kabla County, the Antonde District. We have Honorable Kemirembe Pauline Chaka, the Woman Member of Parliament, the Antonde. We have Honorable Kano Fred Dimosije, Nyabshoji. We have the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador Mugambaji Frank. Your Excellency, we have a special guest that we invited, Madame Enrica Pinetti. She's here with us. We also have the Head of Public Service and the Secretary at Cabinet, Dr. John Mitala. Your Excellency, we have the clergy, His Grace, Dr. Cipriano Kizito-Lwanga, the Archbishop of Kampala. We have His Grace, Dr. Kazimba Mugalu, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda. We have His Eminence, the Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Mubaji. And we have other Reverend Johnson Kansime, the chaplain to the Archbishop of Uganda. We have Father Kaira. We have Right Reverend Constantine Bonabinji. Your Excellency, amongst us here, we also have the service chiefs. We have the Chief of Defense Forces, General David Mhoz. We have the Inspector General of Police, represented by AIGP Hassan Kasinje. We have the Commissioner General of Prisons, Dr. Biabshaija. And we have the Secretary, Office of the President, Haj Yunus Kakande. Your Excellency, we have the chairman, Rural Triangle, war veteran, Haj Sedunga, who made his remarks already, accompanied by Mr. Kabandwa Chigundu. Your Excellency, we have my co-directors of ceremonies and Brigadier General Richard Karemire is here with us. And we have your own Alice Mwanguzi. She's also here with us. Your Excellency may recall that in 2019, you directed that the celebrations to mark the 31st Heroes Day be hosted in Diantonde. In adherence to your directive to host celebrations in Diantonde, the National Organizing Committee in March 2020, under the chairmanship of the Secretary Office of the President, commenced preparations for these celebrations. Specifically, the District Organizing Committee, as well as the area members of Parliament, were quickly brought on board to harmonize efforts for a colorful national celebration. However, immediately thereafter, Uganda registered the first COVID-19 case. And as per your further guidance on COVID-19, we had to consequently put to halt the preparations to host the important day in the Diantonde district, given that these functions normally attract multitudes of people. And that is why we have the members of Parliament from Diantonde representing the people of Diantonde here. Your Excellency, the COVID-19 pandemic notwithstanding, Ugandans today join you through the various electronic media channels to celebrate this day, which symbolizes the sacrifices made by our heroes and heroines in all fields of life to put Uganda above anything else in the struggle for good governance, rule of law, democracy, and Pan-Africanism. On this day, we particularly remember the heroic death of the gallant supporters of the protracted People's War, murdered in cold blood by those in power then. By paying the ultimate price, those heroes who fought dictatorship at that time put Uganda first, so that we, who were later to follow, would live a dignified life. Indeed, from the 9th of June 1981, the momentum to liberate Uganda from the grip of bad governance did not stop until the 26th of January 1986. In recognition of the heroism of our heroes, Your Excellency normally award medals to those or the next of kin for those who are deceased. However, in the current circumstances of COVID-19 pandemic, that has not been possible. I want to request those who had been vetted to receive medals to be patient, for the same will be awarded to them at an appropriate time. To those people in Diantonde, just stay calm, more is yet to come. With that short background of this day, I now take the honor to invite Your Excellency to address the nation. I thank you.
His Excellency the Vice President, Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, His Lordship the Chief Justice, since everybody has got a mask here, and I have no virus, so allow me to remove the mask, because you are not a danger to me, and I'm not a danger to them, so that I can be able to let the karatasi yo. Karatasi peke yake. Karatasi. The Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Prime Minister, because I don't know why most of ceremony you don't, because General Moses is now the Acting Prime Minister. The Prime Minister went into isolation when his people, a number of his people were found with the virus. So the Acting Prime Minister is General Moses Ali. The Right Honorable Alhaji Ggwanga, Right Honorable Kasirye, Deputy Prime Minister Ggwanga, ministers, they are gracious, the religious leaders, the head of the armed forces, and the MPs, and all the people who are here. The chairperson of the veterans, Ggwanga. Today, the 9th of June, was just selected because was selected to symbolize all the other days of sacrifice. Because in the Rural Triangle, and during the whole time of trouble from 1966, because you know our problems started in 1966. There were other political problems, but the violence, the shedding of blood, there were always political problems. But the shedding of blood started in 1966 with the crisis of Mutesa and Obote. Then we went through all those years, and in all those years we were losing people. People not dying from natural death, but dying from guns, from violence, and especially violence by the government. Violence by the government, which was in power. So the 9th of June was chosen just because on that particular day, 9 people were executed by Basilio Okero on the spot, just there, at Chikandwa village. It is true, they were our supporters. Actually, Rutamaguzi had escorted me from Chikandwa. I left that, I was in that house where they killed them. I slept there one night, and then came to Migade, Mile 17 on Bombo Road. And Rutamaguzi is the one who escorted me. He came with me up to Migade. I was preparing to go to Kenya on my way to Libya. So I must have been maybe end of May because I stayed at Megade with Semakura for some days, then I moved from Megade to Rutamaguzi went back to Chikandwa. Then I moved from Megade to Niamatuga, the home of Mr. Chobe. That's where I stayed until my people made arrangements for me to travel to Kenya through the lake, through Lake Victoria. So I was picked on the 6th of June, just like a few days ago. I was picked on the 6th of June from Chobe's house, driven through the bush roads up to Buama. Buama, then we went to the landing site at Katebo. That's where I entered the boat on the evening of the 6th of June and spent the night in the water up to Bubeke Island, where I stayed with somebody who died recently, Chebonere. Chebonere. They brought fish. I couldn't eat fish, so there was some problem. So I had to undergo some fasting because I had not learned how to eat fish. So the following morning, 7th June, this June, then we went to the open water, arriving in Kisumu on the morning of the 8th. So these people were killed on the 9th, the following day. Yes, they were guerrillas because they were our supporters, but they were not tried. Nobody said you are guerrillas, we take it, and they were arrested. So the proper thing should have been to take them to prison and to be tried. They were not tried, they were just killed there with pangas. They were cut with pangas. Now, Rutamaguzi told them in Uganda, Temula Jana. What is Okula Jana? Okula Jana Cheshi. Oh, Oktaka. Rinyankore will call it Oktaka. Okay. That's what he told them in Uganda. Don't reveal. Don't reveal where the guerrillas are. And they were killed, 9 of them, there on that day. So that's why we selected that. But many people were killed on many other days, but we just chose this because they knew. I have had some of the other day when I was walking, some of our people were exaggerating. Like that man, Biro Karege. Singat why you get out run food day. No, it wouldn't have. Even if they had revealed, they knew only one small group, which was nearby there. So still, the war would not have ended, but they did not reveal anything. So that's why we said that these people died heroically. And that's why we said that let's choose this day, the 9th, to represent all the other days. Because there were other days. There were so many days. So therefore, today, when we are celebrating today, with this problem of the virus, it is a war. This is even a bigger war than the other one, by the way. Because a biological war is worse than the war of bullets. When you shoot, you kill one person. the one whom the bullet has caught. But the virus can infect so many people from one source. So it's very dangerous. You have seen the United States, they have now lost 110,000 people. Dead, these are the dead ones. 110,000. Imitwaro 11 bafudde. You know, because of this virus, not because of the other issue. No, virus. So therefore, on this day, I would want to really invite Ugandans to remember what these people did, what our people did. To be a hero involved really two things, or three. Number one, to have a cause, because these people had a cause. Barinensonga, they had a cause. They were tired of UPC. The people were tired of a jogo, UPC, a jogo. The arrogance of UPC. The party, this is what that party which was there. Because you remember, during that election of 1980, the UPC were saying, whether you vote for us or not, we shall take power. Do you remember that? Those who are old enough. Yes, that's what they were saying. Whether you vote for us or not, we shall take. But how will you take power if we don't vote for you? That means we shall use our own means. We don't care about you, whether you vote for us. That's what they were telling us. Even me, you can imagine the UPC were telling me that. And the UPC knew our sacrifice during Yamin's time. They knew who were. They knew that if they had some common sense in their heads, they should have remembered what sort of people they were dealing with. But they were not bothered. They thought. So these people were really tired of the arrogance of UPC. That's why so they had a cause, number one. Number two, they were committed. So somebody can have a cause but not get committed to it. He knows something is right, but he's not able to die for it. And that's why they were heroes. They were saying, that's what Rutamaguzi said. If we die, we die, but the cause will go on. Were they wrong? Where are the people who killed them? Mubandage. Very bad calculation. Abantu bamanyi kibalo. Abakola ebibi tebamanyi kibalo babala bubi. Chura pe. In Luo we say chura pe. There's no mathematics. Because when these people were doing this, I don't know what they thought. They thought that if we do this, people would fear. They would fear us. If we kill these people like this, other people will fear, then they will be like dogs, they will listen to us. That's what their chibaro, their calculation was that brutality will intimidate us and we would not fight on. That's where the miscalculation was. They actually didn't know that they were empowering us because people said whether whatever you do they will kill you, so we better fight. Even the ones who were like 50-50, became more committed. So, number one, to have a cause. Number two, to be dedicated to the cause. Number three, obedience. Obedience. Discipline. Let's call it discipline. That's why they were able to listen. We had no power, no legislation, no what. We were just volunteers saying, we'll come to fight. Say, okay, we support you. Okay, if you support us, you support the cause. You are not supporting me that you are digging in my garden or doing anything for me personally, but you are supporting the cause. And I am also one of you. So if you are you support the cause, then the discipline now. Because if you don't have the discipline, how shall we move? The discipline. That's how we were able to say, like for instance, we were able to say, all the people run from Semuto, run to Singo, because the enemy has come to attack us. And the whole population will move to be able to survive. Now, so this part of the discipline, of the obedience, is what I would like to bring out today. In Uganda, we have a proverb. Nantaburirwa yasabalana wa bumba. Somebody who could not be advised tried to go to cross the lake with a clay boat, a boat made of clay. They told him, say, please, you cannot make a boat out of clay. Clay doesn't make boat. If you want to make boat, you use wood. And you use wood. I don't think you can use wood of any type. I think you use wood of a particular type. But this fellow said, no, me, I can make boat out of clay. So he went in the lake and he drowned in the lake because he could not be advised. Nantaburirwa yasabala nabwa bumba. Katunantaburirwa yani ali wano. You see here, I have the figures of the virus. Since the beginning, day by day, from the 21st of March, I have all the figures here when we had the first case. And we advised you. We said, you people, we don't have treatment now. We don't have vaccine, okugema. We don't have a direct treatment, but we can avoid. We can avoid. And the veterans, you know, this English is a very poor language. When you translate into English, things become dilute. You don't get it. When Kabandwa was reading Sedunga's speech in Uganda, it was stronger. Because he said, Akauka tekari na magulu. That's what he said in Uganda. It was very strong. That the virus has no legs. That's what he said in our local language. He said the virus has no legs. The people with the legs are you people. You are the ones who transport the virus. So you are the vehicles of the virus. When you put it in English, it disappeared. You couldn't get it. That's what I tried. Well, Kawanda kulikayo oluzungu munange. I was worried. Will Kawanda speak English? She spoke it very well. But the problem was that the English itself is poor. So when he tried to translate it, he spoiled it in English. Akauka tekalina magulu. The virus has no legs. So the people with the legs to carry the kauka, the virus, are ourselves. Ourselves. We are the ones who are facilitating the kauka. And the scientists have told us exactly how the kauka spreads, the details, how many meters you should be from the other person. So we can definitely stop this virus. Now, we told you what should be done, and Ggwanga repeated. Number one, initially we said, stay in one place. If you are, the farmers, no problem. If the farmers stay in their farms each, in the family groups, fortunately our farms are scattered, those can continue, there is no problem. But let the family not go to visit. Let the family cigarette, let the family stay alone. Then we said all the others don't move. And so on, all the things we did. The schools go home, the markets, for all those measures we took, which you know. Now, recently, we decided to open up. And we're opening up carefully and deliberately, and knowing that if we really follow what we are advising, we can open up but also be secure. So how do you do it? First of all, when you are traveling, travel only 50% of the vehicle for the public transport. Only 50% of the vehicle, plus one, the conductor and the driver. So that you leave spaces. Don't get near me. You leave it. You are in the vehicle, but you have the distance. In the shops, or some of the shops are open. Make sure that people don't come in many, and so on. Then put on masks all the time. Put on masks all the time. But when I pass through the town there, people are not bothered. They are not bothered. They say, after all, nobody has died. So they are not bothered. So if you are looking for somebody to die, you will get him. And when you start dying, you don't say Museveni did not tell us. There's nothing we have not told you. To beg you, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. No. We have told you exactly what the science says about this virus and how we can avoid it. Now, it is as if it is the work of the police to be the ones to save you from dying. Why should it be the police? It should be yourself. You should be the ones policing yourselves. Not the police, not the LC. President has a presidential directive. It is not my directive. It is just the information I'm giving you so that you stay alive. So, I'm telling you here now, because you say you have not seen any death. That's what people are praying for, that they should get some death. That they are, so we are telling you that people have not died for two reasons. Because initially people listened to the advice. Now the second reason why people didn't die, even the ones who were infected, and the ones who were infected, many of them, I have the figures here. The total of the Ugandans infected up to now, up to yesterday 8th, was 646. Out of a total of 136,000 tested, only 646 have been positive. And of those, 96 have been healed. They have gone away, I think, by yesterday. So, those who were healed because the numbers in the health centers, in the treatment centers, were few. And the doctors could concentrate on them. And they take a long time. The healing is not, even the ones who heal don't heal quickly. Because I was checking, some of them have stayed there for 21 days. They're still sick. But the average is like 18 days. So, if we get very many cases, because that's what happened in Europe, because they didn't take precautions, the ones we have taken, many people were infected at the same time, and the hospitals were overwhelmed. So there was the doctors had to decide, after he's too old, let him die. Concentrate on this one may survive. The doctors had to decide now who dies. So, if that's what Ugandans are looking for, so I appeal to you Ugandans. For those whose activities we have opened up, please, number one, observe the social distancing. Please, I beg you, for the sake of yourself. Keep the distance. Number two, put on the mask. Don't go in. I have just removed mine here because the few people who are here, everybody has got a mask. And I know that I have no virus to give them. Otherwise, I will not remove. Of course, the mask is not very comfortable. When you speak in it for a long time, you get tired. It's a bit tiresome. Medicine is always bitter. You cannot say that I don't take medicine because it is not sweet. Whether it is bitter or not, you take it. These masks are medicines, which you must take whether you like or not. So, number one, keep the distances. Number two, put on the mask all the time. Number three, clean the surfaces, the offices. Like these ones here have been sanitized. When you leave, everything here will be disinfected. Number four, don't touch yourself. Don't touch yourself in the eyes, in the mouth, and so on, and the nose. Now, if you maintain that, even when we have opened up, we are now going to scale up the treating capacity. These people had planned for 9,000 beds, the health people, but I told them, why do you plan for only 9,000? Plan for 40,000. So we are going to use all Nambori is being prepared. Other spaces will be prepared to, if necessary, treat big numbers. But if the numbers are too big, then they will overwhelm even the bigger spaces we have prepared. So therefore, and by the way, even when you get healed, you waste a lot of time. 21 days you are just lying there in the hospital. You are not doing your work. Why do you have to have this? You say you are rushing to do work, you end up in the hospital or in the grave. Is that good mathematics? Huh? So, olugero lw'Abaganda nantabuulirwa yasabalana bwa bumba. That's the third lesson of resistance. When you talk of resistance, you talk of a cause, you talk of heroism, dedication, but you must also talk of discipline. Discipline of Wurze. And there is no way you can call yourself a freedom fighter or a successor of freedom fighters if you are not disciplined. And we are really, what Sedunga told you when we said Nyamanzeni, because that's what I said, I told the countries, please, Musirike, let's hear, keep quiet. Let's hear where the enemy is coming from. We have discovered where the enemy was coming from. Number one, they were coming from abroad, the infected people from Dubai and those places. Number two, the drivers. And the figures are here. Because of the 646 Ugandans who are positive, cumulatively, the drivers are 316. Of these 646, the drivers are 616. The Ugandan driver, 316. 316. The Ugandan drivers. The non-Ugandan drivers whom we have sent back are 116. The ones whom we test and then we send back. So, if it was not for the drivers, the total number of the other Ugandans, cumulatively, who have been found with the virus, would be 326. It will be a much smaller number. But the good thing, you know, some people like not to talk about problems, but me, I like to talk about problems. Because by talking about problems is okwanika. When you put something in the sunshine, in the village, all the mikeka, the mats, you put them in the sun, they will be disinfected. Now, by talking and taking measures, the route of the drivers seems to be drying up, seems to be reducing. If I take the last few days, if I take 24th of May, the drivers who were positive were 0. 25th of May, there were 7. 26th of May, there were 23. That was a big number that day. 27th of May, there were 18. 28th of May, there were 22. 29th of May, there were 5. The 30th of May, there were 49. 31st of May, there were 20. This big number, 49, vehicles had collected inside South Sudan. Big South Sudanese had blocked them. So they had stayed there at the border. I think even some were infected there at the border because of waiting there. So when I talked to His Excellency Salva Kiir, then they opened. He talked to his people. You know, these officials also, they can make their own rules. So somebody just stops, don't move. So when I talked to His Excellency Salva Kiir, they opened for, this is the big number. But 1st of June, they were, no, 31st of May, they were 20. 1st of June, 15. 2nd of June, 5. 3rd of June, 6. 4th of June, 10. 5th of June, 0. 6th of June, 7. 7th of June, 5. Here they say 8th of June, they say 0. I don't know whether the results have not come in or what. But you can see the drivers are, the numbers are coming down. So the shouting and the measures seems to be waking up people. And how were these people getting infected? These drivers of ours, the 316. Initially, apparently, when they would enter South Sudan, the South Sudan soldiers would say, you carry these people. They would give him people to carry, to transport. So when I complained to their organization here, they say, oh, but what is that? They force us to carry people. So I accused them to His Excellency General Salva Kiir. Say, I hear that your people are forcing our drivers to carry passengers. And that's because before they enter South Sudan, they are checked, they are all right. When they are coming back, so that means something happens there. And initially, that was the problem of being forced. So General Salva Kiir intervened, and nobody is forcing them. Now they are forcing themselves because of making money. So they voluntarily acquire. You remember Slim was the same. Slim was also quite voluntary, the AIDS. So this is how those people are getting infected. Now we don't know, it's so annoying. So therefore, but we are now going to, we shall discuss with the government of South Sudan to see how to watch these people. Well, there are ways we can watch them. Like now, the cameras here in the city are helping us to see who is doing what. Everybody who is throwing a menvu on the road, we can see him and photograph him. And if the police are serious, they can follow him up. So even these ones, we shall find a way of monitoring them. So therefore, I am appealing to, I'm using this occasion of the Heroes' Day to remind the country that one of the points of the freedom fighters was discipline. Now, if you really want us to overcome this disease, listen to the advice. Keep the social distances. Put on the masks. From tomorrow, they will start distributing the government masks. Even if you have your own mask, the government will give you its own. Because these masks of the government are from the factory. The quality is confirmed. Then put on the mask, don't touch yourself, and so on. And many of the people, if you don't have anything serious you are doing, stay at home. Stay at home. Especially the old people, the people who are sick. Recently, we lost one of our very good comrades. We had, there was a South Sudanese, a Sudanese young lady, an engineer, whom we came to know in Vienna when she was working for the UNIDO. And she came here, she has been here working with us on the relationship between Uganda and Sudan, because you know we had problems with Bashir's government of Sudan. Very active lady, but she had some medical issues, surgery. She had had surgery long ago because of the intestinal. I think she had got intestinal obstruction. Then she had been operated. Then you know those operations sometimes can also cause other problems. It had caused some other problems, adhesions. You know when part of the. Then she was operated again. Otherwise, but she had no other health problem. But now in Khartoum, when she was there, she's actually the one who organized. You remember the meeting of Netanyahu and the man of Sudan? She's the one who organized it. Now in Khartoum, she died, and they just buried her. So it's not a joke. It's not when people are just playing around and making a fool. It is not a joke. It is very serious. So we have lost that young person who was so helpful for us with the Arabs, with Sudan, with what. She has been in Khartoum all these days, only to be told about a week ago that she's very sick. Then when I tried to check, they said they are burying her now. You know the Muslims don't waste time. They buried her the same day. So this is not a joke. Now, then, if you listen to, we open up, but people listen, move carefully. But the majority of the Ugandans are really very careful. For instance, on the question of the schools, you will be surprised. Many of the parents don't want the schools to open. Yeah? They have been ringing me, please, please, please. One judge, one old lady rang me last night to say, "Omwaka gufwe, let the year of the child die." You know the way we speak in our language. No, they don't say that here. We say it in our language. Omwaka gufwe, omwaka kagufwe. Meaning let the year be wasted, but let the children survive. So you find the parents are really, really very protective about the nanny. So the people who are carers are people, I don't know who they are here in the town. The barrios, I hear people have started congregating on barrios. This must stop. This must stop. The weddings, just the minimum necessary people, less than 10, these are the ones who are needed. All the others are just unnecessary additions. They can stay away. So I appeal to you, please, Obuurize. Now, on the issue of the economy is moving well. Apart from the sectors which have suffered, the sectors of tourism and so on. But internal tourism can resume now, as long as you observe the social distance. But the factories are working. The only problem I see is the corruption of the public servants. I am glad His Eminence, the Mufti, was talking about it. the corruption in procurement, like I was seeing in today's paper, manufacturers complaining that they are manufacturing transformers here, and our people are buying transformers from outside. I saw it in the papers today. Why anybody should buy transformers from outside when Uganda is making the transformers, the electric transformers, and the cables, is something, and without consultation even. If there are some special reasons why you think you should buy, you should not honor the government policy of build Uganda, buy Uganda. Why don't you consult? I am here, the ministers are there. Why? Why do you go quietly and you say the PPDA procurement, go to hell? We are going to sort it out with all these crooks. We are going to build our country the way we fought the war. If anybody cannot be with us, go to hell. I will no longer tolerate that nonsense. Because you are killing the jobs of our people, our children. The other time we were discussing the issue of printing, security printing. We have got a printing company here, and we wanted to print government documents. No, they want to buy. Go to hell. You cannot. How many jobs are going to you to create for in the printing? 500 jobs for our children. Instead of supporting that, you are buying because you are getting some bribes from all those crooks. So that game is finished, and we are going to fight this war of corruption. This is the only problem remaining now. Even the medicine. Our children have got the medicine for malaria. I was there with the Right Honorable Speaker somewhere. Our children got long ago the medicine for malaria. New medicine, much better than this one. But they were being tossed around by our crooks. Go here, go there, go there. Until they managed to struggle. And now we are going to make a very brand new malaria medicine. Even this coronavirus, this morning before I came here, I was talking to our people. How are we moving? We are moving very well. We have we can get this medicine before the Europeans get it. If we get rid of the parasites within us, the parasites, banalirawa, abantu abo bankoyeza. Parasites, go to hell with the parasites. They are our problem. Otherwise, this science, you see you fellows, you Africans, especially here in Uganda maybe, we are very lucky. When you see me here, I am a scientist. I am a cattle scientist. Because I learned all the cattle science traditionally. And by the time I went to school, I was actually a scientist. I could deliver a cow which could not deliver. You call them what, obstetrics or what? When I was a child. Gynecology and I was an expert in that for the cows. So you come with that traditional knowledge, ancient knowledge of our people. Then you get modern information. So our sciences are very good. They are actually much better than the others in the world, but they are not assisted. Dr. Muranga has shown you how to get a superior flour, superior to wheat. No. I am always carrying Dr. Muranga as if she is my problem. Help Muranga, please. I'm begging as if you are going to build my house or anything for me. That game is finished. Our scientists must get the support they need. And they will solve all these problems. Even this virus, something is already moving. the medicine side, the treatment side. They are working on it. And we can get it ahead of anybody else. But our parasites, this kawukumi, emungwe, which is among us, this is where the problem is. People who don't care about their country, they only care about themselves. The vaccine are working on it. Of course, they have been delayed a bit by our people. And all the other branches, our people are really, the scientists are there, they can help us in many of these things. So let us get rid of the corruption. That's the only problem that is blocking us. So with these few words, I congratulate the Haji Sedunga, and in his speech, he mentioned the problems they found when they went up country. Number one, they got Akasimo money, the 5 million, some of them, some others 1.5 million, and they bought some livestock, but it is being stolen, and the thieves are not handled by the police. The policeman is there, Kasirye. Were you here in Uganda? Huh? Can you get a copy? Mumfunile copy on police. You heard that you are now the problem of Uganda. That you are the problem, you heard both in English and in Uganda. That man is the problem of Uganda now. That all other things are moving well, but the problem is Kasirye and his group. Because when a village thief steals the cow which they have got from Operation Wealth Creation, or they have got from their casino, nothing is done about it. So people are going to, Banyangwero call it Okchwekenteje. When you, Okchwekenteje is when people discourage you and you give up. You sit down, because whatever you do is undermined by the thieves. So why should this happen? Kasirye, now you talk to those people, they're here. I am a free mediator between you and Sedunga. Ask him, these veterans, what do they want? What they want is that Omubi, a thief, if he's caught, he should not get out of jail with police bond, with bail. If we need to change the registration, you bring it up. Because in the village, they don't want big things. What they want is harmony. My goat, if it is stolen, somebody who steals must pay. Now, when you don't get that, you really become, you undermine everything people are doing. The tick resistance, they talked of tick resistance. That one is again, of course, caused by the vets. Our vets are the ones who didn't advise us well, because the different classes of ticks or of tick drugs, if you use it for more than 3 years, the ticks become resistant to it. So they should have been able to be able to tell us. But I want to tell you that even there we are moving. We are going to get a superior product which will solve that big problem, again by our scientists. And land evictions, you talked about land evictions, and the medical not treating the people, corruption in the health centers. These are the people, the issues they talked about. So I congratulate all the veterans. I think before we end, let's stand for 1 minute of silence for Major General Kasirye Ggwanga, who died this morning. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Congratulations, the abazirwanako mbagaliza emikisa n'emirembe. Thank you very much.
Please resume your seats. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for the words of wisdom that nobody can repeat here. And I want to thank you for officiating at the 31st Heroes Day anniversary celebrations. I want to thank everybody here for honoring the invitation. And before we end our celebrations, lunch has been prepared for everybody here, and I want to thank HE for the lunch. Can we all stand and sing the anthems in a reverse order? distributions, and departure is in reverse order. Thank you.
So much, just right there, and thank you so much, Your Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and thank you so much, Minister Estambula Kubuza Mbayo, Minister of the Presidency, and also Master of Ceremonies for that day in State House. The Scientific 2020 Heroes